This idea is way too tied to my personal brand.
But there should be more voices.
It's going to need lots of different people doing lots of different things.
Talk about it. Say it.
If we can make an ecosystem of very similar creators,
It will have impacted people in different ways.
There's massive demand for doing politics, economic stuff.
And everyone's an expert on their own life.
You don't have to necessarily have the background that I've got. If you're interested in creating, we need more people doing it.
Okay, let's do it. Hi, my name is Mappleby. I'm a software developer, researcher, musician, music teacher, actor, project manager, and hack. I spent the last few years sat at a desk writing code, listening to podcasts about economics, politics, social justice, history, philosophy, theology, and wherever else my hyperfixation took me. As a result, I've accumulated a rather unusual portfolio of knowledge, and I think I have something to add to the conversation. So here we go. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. I'm not from the same background as Gary or Jimmy or many others in this space. I have received pronunciation. I went through private and grammar school education. I met my boss through a social occasion. My company paid for my degree. I'm about as privileged as it gets. And yet, I am just as screwed as everyone else in my generation. And I know lots of other people who also went to private school, who also went to grammar school, who are also just as screwed. A postman, a home help, a baker, and a hat seller. These were the jobs that my grandparents had, and that provided them with enough money to buy a house, support a family, and help their children through higher education. My mum was the first person in her family to get a degree. She bought her first house in the 80s when house prices were at an all-time high. It was just before the house bubble burst. And she often boasts about the fact that her mortgage was 5 times her salary. That was considered pretty big at the time. It was a decent house. She had lodgers. Between them, they managed to pay it all off. The cheapest house in my local area is 10 times my salary. The cheapest house. Not the one I'd actually want to buy, not the one I'd feel at home in, not the one I'd be able to raise a family in or start a business out of. The cheapest. And even that is out of my reach. Buying a house has gone from being an achievable goal for anyone with a full-time job to being a pipe dream, even for the most privileged. Now I could and would and probably will in a future video make a moral claim to say that housing is a right and should be provided for absolutely everyone, no matter privilege, upbringing, background, etc. But morals aside, let me make a plea to other privileged middle-class twats like me. We are losing our grip on power. If we, the middle economic bloc, continue to side with the upper economic bloc, we will lose everything. If we instead choose to side with the lower economic bloc, we might lose our privilege. But maybe we can create a society where we don't need that privilege. Maybe we can create a society where our needs are provided for and our hard work is enough to buy the things that we want in life. I'm going to be using this channel to talk about economic theory, political strategy, moral philosophy. I'm going to discuss my personal experiences with class, wealth, and income inequality. We're going to learn together, grow together, change hearts and minds together. So subscribe and join me in the journey. See you in the next one.